Welcome everybody, droning with Jamie here. Here's a quick little tutorial of everything with the DJI Mavic 3 Cine and with other drones relating to the mini drones and all the other drones and the safety. So we're under the 3 Hammergler, which is right here, and you're basically going to be clicking that. You're going to be going in the settings of the flight assistance. So the obstacle avoidance with some of the drones, other drones don't have it, and other drones do. Depends what series you buy. But for the Mavic 3, you got obstacle avoidance, you got bypass, brake, and off. Off where you don't have the sensors, guys, and brake when you approach to an object, it will stop. And bypass, it will go right around it. So however you like to at your location or what you're doing, you would set one of these to your prefer. I prefer bypass. Bypass an option. You got normal and nifty. I leave it on normal. Good setting with it. Radar display, I always have it on. Okay, so leave that on. Check for airplanes. Your altitude, you can set it for 410, 400, but the law is 400 feet. And the app doesn't go exactly 400 feet, but I watch my height when I am going up to that. So 400 feet is the law, except if you're going over an obstacle like the Rockies or an object that's higher than 400 feet. So that's why I had it 410, because I was going over high obstacle, and basically I had to go 10 feet over the obstacle. So 400 feet in Canada in general rule, and the FAA in the States 400 unless you're above structure that you need to go higher. And your max distance, no limit or limit. Your advanced return to home, optimal or reset, I leave it on Optima. Return altitude, which means the drone will go basically that height to return to home. My key is 164. Urban towns, not cities. Outfields, wherever. 164 is my true sweet point. Update home point. So basically with this here is basically it will update your home point right away. So I find it's a great asset if you're moving location and walking. Just set the home point again, guys. Air sense basically, and it will tell you that everything's on. My options with all this, leave it on, all of them for airplanes. Here's their good keys here. Your IMU, your compass, all these here. So basically with the sensors, I like to do them at least once a month and calibrate them. So your IMU is basically your sensors of coming up to an obstacle. So for proven advance with the technology, make sure everything's up to date. I prefer to update at least once a month, or less it comes up on the app. Your compass, its way it's flying, hovering, all that stuff. A lot of key maintenance to do. Okay, your battery info tells you what your voltage, everything. Your auxiliary light, which would be the lights here, if you want them on or off on the aircraft, and basically your auxiliary LED would be your light from underneath that you can turn it on manually and leave it on, or on and off, however you like. Unlock zone, authorization zones. This is where you unlock zones and find my drone. if something was to happen and you needed to find your drone or whatever when it got lost. Your aircraft, so your controls would be your controls for your controller basically. Um, I like to keep it imperial, so you know your miles an hour, kilometers, all that. Prefer that. Put it in standard zoom. So this would be basically your large text if you have a hard time reading. Um, you need bigger fonts. This is where you would go larger text. Gain expos. This here, guys, is basically your gimbal of your drone. Okay, and this is what controls your speed and everything, your brake sensitivity, everything. So it's basically like a tune-up. Um, how fast you want to go with these drones for horizontally, max speed, all this stuff. Um, Basically, it's all about speed. And your display zoom. Just leave it standard. Your gimbal, follow mode, FPV mode. So basically, this thing here with your gimbal, which is your camera, FPV, your camera will basically move left and right, and it's not steady. That would be FPV. It's all over as you fly. The gimbal moves at the same time. Or follow mode would be basically when you're flying your drone and you want to basically have your camera basically going with the wind speed, everything staying still, nothing really jumpy with everything. So that would be that. So here also, here guys, you got your camera. So under your camera settings, I prefer to leave the peak level off, and basically the not FPV, sorry, the peak and level would be basically outline of your how much light's coming in your camera, so it adjusts that you have to do manually. I leave this all off. White balance, this would be basically, I leave it on auto, prefer, and preferably manually would be if you're in a low light situation. You basically want to adjust the light and make it better, because sometimes it's hard to have it in auto at certain situations, like the Rocky Mountains in BC or something, or sunset, and you want to really crisp it for your video quality and your camera. So internal storage, you basically got your internal storage. I buy 120 gig SD card. This one's 118. I prefer basically the SD card, because there's a lot of data and a lot of space that it takes, because this is a really high quality drone. It takes a lot of space with certain videos, so depends what's you're filming pictures. So anyways, back to this storage location. So this would be internal, so this would be on the drone, not the SD card, and this would be on the SD card what's available. So you can basically hit which one you want for your drone. If you want to just put it internal, then your SD card. So if you had a job or something, okay, I just want to do real estate, I just want to do that, so I'm going to go internal storage. It'll basically tell you if you want to confirm or not, but I'm not going to. But it basically tells you everything how you want it. So if I did a real estate or something, or did anything for somebody or a job, etc., I would click it there, so the space is all on here, and then my SD card that I'm doing for my YouTube channel and doing stuff, I want to put that there, so I don't get these two mixed up, right? Chase while recording, so 30 frames subscription. I leave it on You can max out your video capacity, how high you want it to keep your old files. I always leave it the lowest settings. So transmission here, guys, for your Mavic 3 Cine. Basically, live performance. This would be basically if you wanted to put it live and you wanted it to basically have it live on your YouTube channel. You can do it that way. Live streaming performance. You can put it how many megahertz you want. You got your channel, so you basically got auto, manual. So I always leave it auto, and it basically tells you what's good for how far and what the range is. And you can tell here, guys, that it's kind of moving up and down because it's auto. And then you see the graph here, so it tells you basically your strength and your signal of your drone, and how strong transmission this is with your distance with your drone. So anyways, thank you for checking out the live video and seeing exactly how these drones work under settings and what I prefer. And this is what I prefer, and under my settings, and it's up to you what you want to do. But just to give you a quick outline and explain about everything under the settings. If you have any comments or questions, just comment. And thanks for learning with me. Droning with Jamie.